I'm gonna close the store behind me. This coffee and this thing. Don't know. Let's see. Please don't spill this coffee. That's all I'm asking. Gutter's gonna join us in a minute. Oh, please, I hope I didn't get that John wet. Oh man. So what's good, yo? I don't know. We get some people up in here. Usually they pop in a minute and then like a minute and a half. Gutter ran into a store, so I'm just gonna be doing this for a second by myself. Just drinking some coffee, chilling right now. I just want to say good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? This ain't the Hood Smokers, but we gonna have one of the Hood Smokers on the show. So I use like the Hood Smokers logo as part of the draft. I'm excited about. Eagles did pretty good during the draft too. They got Jeremiah Trotter Jr., which is cool because his father played for the Eagles, so I like that a lot. And then also, the Sixers gonna play tonight, and they're gonna beat that Knicks ass, yo. Hopefully, Joel's feeling better, yo, because I don't know if y'all heard he had that Bell's palsy shit, where basically like half dude's face is like that looked like he had a stroke, real shit. Like half his face was like swollen and shit. Looked like he couldn't even like. It's just it's scary, you know what I mean? And that dude is a fucking monster, yo. So you gotta understand that dude scored fucking 50 points like that. Come on, yo. Most motherfuckers wouldn't even get out of bed or go to work. This dude's fucking laying 50 on the fucking Knicks, yo. If you could put 50 on the Knicks like every time like that, it's a fucking wrap. You know what I mean? I think he really got to step up, show the world how good he is. Like, he's usually fucking banged up in the playoffs, yo, and he's just got to like hold that shit together, basically. And I think though, if he puts his shit together, like just holds it together, you know what I mean? After you done the playoffs and shit, take it easy all summer. But once you win the playoffs, like you just gotta go. Who cares how bad your body gets beat up? You just gotta keep going. I think before it was always like precautionary shit when it came to Joel. Everybody just kept trying to like, protect him and not let him play and shit. But I think Nick Nurse is just letting him go. You know what I mean? The guy wants to play and he feels like he's good to go. Let him fucking go, especially when the guy's like the whole fucking team. That dude literally like cooked the Knicks by himself. It's the craziest shit. It's like the biggest plus minus in the NBA. Like when he's on the bench and shit, and then like versus on the floor. I think it's like 18 or 20 points. So when this dude's like not playing, that's why the other teams always catch up. Every time you go on the bench, I'm like, oh no, gonna catch up and shit, yo. Because you know what I'm saying? But when it's just him by himself, he fucking cooking it, yo. So yeah, yo. I just want to say good morning to everybody though too. We waiting on Gutter. Gutter's supposed to join. He ran to the store real quick. But yeah, you know what I mean? Anybody in here, yo, leave a comment, hit that like button and definitely subscribe. This is Chester McFly live. This ain't the Chester McFly show. This is the Chester McFly live. Usually I consider a show when I have a guest. We don't have a guest on yet, so once we get a guest, it kind of be a show. So this may be a half and half. But we let you know. So, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe like one of these mornings, just bringing down like their laptop down here and busting out some instrumentals and shit, and then like freestyling on here and shit. I just hit the ad, John. So here's Gutter. Buongiorno. That means good morning
Ah,
Italian.
what up, though? What up, though? Hey, we got 110 motherfuckers up in here, Chester McFly.
Hell yeah,
This
man.
bitch slapping. Y'all smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
Show some love. Drop a comment. What country
That's
you
what I've
from?
been
What city
saying.
you from?
Yeah,
I had
everybody,
to
a lot
grab
of
me some
people,
ab
they be
building.
shy, yo. They be
This ain't
shy
no
up in
perks
here.
or nothing, so nobody says gut is taking perks or some shit like that.
People crazy, man.
No, I got a fucking my sinuses, though. The weather's my allergy.
There we go. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, what up, though? Chastity
Chastity?
or
Hey,
Chastity?
Chastity. Yeah, yeah. What up, though? Where you from? How
Welcome to
you
the Chester
doing?
Mc, Welcome to Chester McFly channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. So You was ready to go at it with the OG, dog. You went in the chat. You was going crazy. I'm like, oh shit, Chester,
Yeah.
don't make me start talking to telling the OG that this and that. Like, this the OG. This motherfucker been around everybody forever. This motherfucker was the guy who Suge Knight looked at like you got my back and shit type motherfucker and shit back
I
in
mean,
the
I
days
feel
type
you.
shit.
You just got. I just see it like this. Like if you know, it's just like you got to read between the lines. You know what I mean? If somebody's saying "fuck you," you got to read between the lines. You
Yeah.
feel me?
I don't think he was meaning he wasn't meaning fuck you to all Jewish people. He was meaning fuck you to the owners of the majors like that
Say their
motherfucking
names.
one.
You got to
He
say
said
Jewish
Jimmy
people.
IV. He said that one dude. What's that one fucking fag's name that raped Diddy? What the fuck is his name? I can't even think of his name now. He was the owner of Uptown and shit. Supposedly he groomed Diddy and shit. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
I can't remember his fucking name. Record label owner, exact like big time CEO.
I know you're
Fuck.
talking about Uptown Records. I know you're talking about, but that was a black dude.
Yeah, he
That was
he
a
name
black dude.
dropped him too. As soon as he said his name, because I was like, damn, he about to get into Diddy and shit.
Yeah,
I was
but
about
like
that.
you know what I'm saying though, like when it comes to like shit like that though, like it's like if I talk about like oh yeah, like you know, there's a lot of black artists like killing each other and they terrible. Da, da, da. There's all these black guys and you just keep saying it like that. Like why I gotta like name that
Well,
guy's name? You know what I'm saying? And then if I
at the
start talking
same
about
time
right at
though, he did talk
but
shit
right
about how black
afterwards,
he is.
but yo, but
Nah.
peep this. But right afterwards, like if I'm like saying, oh, these black artists, they robbing people, all these black guys, and you just gotta be careful, and they in our communities buying shit and doing that. And then all of a sudden, you start saying, but and in Africa, they're having wars. All of a sudden, so what's the commonality here? You're talking about, but you know what I'm saying? Black people, Africa. And so what, you see the commonality. So if you're talking about Jewish people, and then you're saying Jews, and then you start talking about Israel, what's the connection there? You know what I'm saying? And
Oh
like I
shit.
said, when it comes to Palestine, if you want to end the war, release the fucking hostages. Ain't no way talking about that shit. If you want to fight the dudes. They kidnap babies and women, y'all. Some pussy shit, yo. Real shit.
Yeah, but really it wasn't Palestine, it's Hamas. It's the terrorists.
Yeah, but
It's
who
that
runs Palestine? Who runs it?
I
Hamas. They
don't
the
know, dog.
leaders.
I ain't
They the
over there.
leaders. I'm
I
telling you,
don't
I
know.
know. They the leaders. They hide in Qatar, yo. Like the guy who's the president.
No, I
He
know
don't
they're
even.
cowards, dog. Like Osama bin Laden hit himself with what, 23 kids and like 8 women and shit. Like they hide themselves with people because they think America ain't gonna come in there and bomb the shit out of some women and kids and shit. That's how they feel. So they surround themselves by, yeah, they don't wear like uniforms and shit. Like they ain't like soldiers. You know what I'm
They don't
saying?
fight.
So
That's what I'm saying. They do sneak shit. Like they stab you in the back. They blow
yeah.
you up on the bus. It's pussy shit, yo. That's all it is. And then like they cheer for that shit. So like, and then another thing, they don't even
But you
talk
can't
about it.
blame the whole country. You're saying the same thing that you saying that drunken mass was saying about Jewish people about Palestinians though.
Because I said when they kidnapped all those Jewish people and shit, what were the regular citizens doing? Did you see that video? They was jumping in the street, spitting
Oh
on the
man, I've
bodies
seen
and
so
shit.
many.
Regular, not
Yeah.
the army, not
No,
the
I know.
government,
Trust me, Video
regular,
Matt. You
everyday
need to check out
Palestinians
Video Matt, dog.
jumping up and down, spitting on bodies and shit, yo.
I'm
I
telling
seen
you,
it.
you and Video Matt presents with y'all would click, dog. He's from LA, but he moved to Sicily because his channel got so much heat from his channel, but was up to 12 million, but they took him down. And he started going on the streets in LA. And he was like, they said he was harassing homeless people, but he was just exposing that the mayor was full of shit because the mayor said they was gonna put all these homeless people in hotels and shit like that. And he's giving homeless people joints, shit like that. But he
That's
even
cool.
had Antifa was putting his address, his name, and all that all over LA and shit. And
Yeah,
people
they
was coming to
crazy.
his house, dog. He had video, like cameras outside his house, people trying to get up in his crib, and his wife is from Sicily. So he moved to Sicily with his wife, and that's where he's been at. But he goes live all the time. His shit be slapping. That's where 100 people came from. That's my homie from Flint and shit.
That's what's up.
Actually met him off of Video Maps. He's been on the show a couple times. But y'all would do good. But he talks about this all the time. Everything that has to do with politics and government and war and shit like that. And he's like the shit you're saying. He says the same type of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think you two would do good.
Well, that's
Like,
why I always say,
chopping
like,
it up.
say the dude's names. You mad at like Netanyahu? Say him. Don't say these Jews. Like, you know what I mean? That's dumb. I say the Palestinians because I seen them all dancing and spitting. They all say everybody says from the river to the sea. What does that mean? Nobody ever examines that though. That means they get rid of all the Jews. That's their land. You know what I'm saying? If they talk about that shit, like I said, I know this shit, yo. The Mizrahi Jews are the natives to all of like Saudi Arabia, what you call Iraq, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. There was Mizrahi Jews that lived there. No Arabs until Muhammad colonized that whole shit. That's what it's real. So if they talk about giving back land, you got to give back land to all them Jews that you kicked out of those countries. That's real shit. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
gotta look that shit up. So when people say, "Oh, you gotta get back land," well, then get back that land. Oh, we ain't doing that.
But you gotta
The Jews
you
ain't
gotta
giving back no
remember.
land. Then you know what I'm saying? If they ain't
But
giving
you
back
got to
no land,
remember
the
who
Jews
you
ain't giving
talking
back
to,
no land.
though. You got to remember who you talking to. You talking to a street guy from Detroit that fucking came up in the music industry. So all they see, they ain't seeing the poor side of the Jewish people. They're seeing the ones running shit, and that's cutting their check and
Well,
robbing them.
that's judging the
It's
whole
some
group of
old,
people. That's racist. That's racist and anti-Semitic, yo. That's judging. I seen a couple black dudes robbing people and doing bad shit. Oh, you can't trust black people. You
well,
say that
every
shit. That's
race, dog.
racist, yo. It's
Every
stupid.
race is like that. Like growing up,
Nah.
like where I'm from, dog, we was like fucking. We didn't look at the color of your skin. Let's just put it like that. We looked at the color of the flag you had on and shit. Like you were in Southwest Detroit, you could pull up. There'd be like a couple white dudes, couple black dudes, couple Arabs, couple everybody and shit, just mixed up. Fucking Latinos, Cubans, fucking Dominicans, fucking. We didn't give a fucking shit. It wasn't about like what color you were and shit like that. But I know it ain't like that everywhere and shit. And I felt like when Trump became president. And I know people. That's why I don't talk politics because I ain't trying to beef over no damn Trump. Because Biden ain't shit neither and shit.
No.
None of them are shit. If you ask me and shit.
I
So
like what I like what Trump said though. Like when they was asking, one thing I will say though, when they were like shooting rockets at Israel, and they were like like Iran, and they're like, "What would you tell Iran?" They asked Camilla Harris, "What would you tell Iran like about shooting rockets?" And they're like, "Don't, just don't." And then they showed Trump on the next video. He's like, "I would bomb the shit out of He's saying, yo. I was like, "That shit funny, man." You ain't gotta like the motherfucker, but you gotta know that shit funny though. You know what I mean? I look,
people don't realize about Trump is dog that he ain't never seen shit dog. He ain't seen nothing except outside. The closest thing he's seen is maybe the suburbs of a city outside of a limousine's window or a fucking Bentley or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Growing up his whole life, he was silver spoon fed, so he can't relate. That's why I don't get like here in Michigan, like I'm in construction, so you know most of them motherfuckers they all look like shit. I can't talk shit. I'm about to shave this off for my summer cut, but they all got the Adam Calhoun look. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
is
yeah.
shit, and everybody's fuck like I go in the motherfucking use an outhouse. And it's like fucking Facebook, but with Sharpies and shit. People like you got the Mexicans talking shit to the carpenters and this and that. They like fuck Texas. You'll see Texas on there. You'll see Donald Trump, fuck Trump. You see all this shit all over, like tagged all over the fucking outhouse. They use that shit like how social media is now. It's always been like that though. Like, but I'm like, I'm looking at them like these is poor white people and shit, but they're all into Trump. And I got into it. This one guy I knew him. He was a
Yeah, it don't
carpenter.
make sense.
Yeah, and he was like, he said something to me about it, and I'm like, dog, what is he doing for you though and shit? Like, you think he really gives a fuck about you and shit? Because you know, this is where they was gonna kidnap the president. They was gonna kidnap the governor of Michigan and like a couple
Yeah,
other.
yeah, I heard you was telling me
Like,
about that
yeah,
shit.
that's crazy. Like they was ready to ride. Look what they did to the what was that? The state cap, the building that they ran up in and shit. And a cop died there. They rushed that bitch. I mean, because Trump told them to. And that's one thing I'll give Adam Calhoun props for, because Adam Calhoun was always sticking up for Trump, you know what I'm saying? And then when that shit happened, he went in on Trump, dog, because he was like, "You told us to go up in there." He was like, "Y'all, you gave that big ass speech. You said rush that bitch."
Yeah.
So we did it. He was like, "We rushed that bitch." He was like, "Where was our fearless leader at? Where were you at? You gonna make a tweet hours later that y'all need to leave and shit?" Like,
I don't think he thought they were gonna do it. I think he was just hyping the
he,
crowd up.
dog, he gave him a
You know what I'm
motherfucker.
saying? But he was
Jim
hyping them up
Harbaugh,
like
you
how
a very Michigan Wolverine pep talk. Like, motherfucker, like, go out there and fuck their ass up. Them motherfuckers was rowdy as hell. Half of them, probably more than half, was drunk, dog. They was ready to go, dog. They
hell
wasn't,
yeah.
dog. And they was thought when you get groups of people like that, because I know, because I've been in protests, a lot of them. When you get a lot of people together, the police get scared, dog. Like, that's why they got to call in the dudes with the body armor and the shields and
Yeah,
the all
yeah.
that type of
No,
shit.
I seen that
That's,
shit in Philly during
yeah,
the riots and shit. It was crazy up
right.
here when that shit happened during 2020. like
For
real crazy.
we didn't have riots, dog, but I mean, some people, a
They
cop ran the
destroyed the
whole
whole. They
city.
destroyed everything. 69th Street, like all the way up Sea Line
We
Avenue,
don't
like
let them
Center
do that.
City.
We
Everything was
destroyed
riled in
police
Philly.
cars, dog. That's what we did. We took over the back of the first precinct in downtown Detroit. I drove by it and videotaped it the other day when I went down there for the draft. I'm like, damn, it brought back memories of like, yeah, we were smashing cop cars right here and this and that. And there was all these cops.
Allegedly.
No, they seen us. The cops watched us. They didn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing. They just stood around the building like they were holding like a barricade around the building. They circled the building, all these cops, and just stood around it while everybody's jumping. The dudes out got a megaphone standing on the windshield of the cop car and shit, yelling. And there's people everywhere. Juggalos was down there, dog, with fucking psychopathic ICP shirts jumping around like mosh pitting and shit and burning rebel flags and all type. It was crazy, dog. And it was like
Yeah,
a
that shit crazy.
it was like a fucking festival almost, more than a protest. If you watch the video, I got it on here. It's like 2 hours I was
Oh,
live.
Philly, that shit was coordinated. I don't know if I told you, like, I don't know where these motherfuckers got it. They got like C4, like fucking
Oh,
plastic explosives. They
that
were
was
driving
dog
up, they were driving to
Antifa,
ATMs. Yeah, they were
BLM,
going to
all them.
ATMs all over the city and putting C4 on the fucking ATMs and blowing them bitches up like all
Yeah.
over the city. I don't know where the fuck
Dog,
they got that
they
shit,
was
but they
trying
were
to do
blowing
that
them.
in every city in America. They tried to do it in Detroit too. That's what I'm saying. I got on video catching some
Hey, wait, did,
motherfuckers with a backpack with Molotovs. Like they was gonna set them down and shit so people could pick them. Like, look, oh wow, a
yeah.
Molotov. Let me throw it through this fucking window and shit. Let me burn this building down. Like they wasn't doing it, but they was setting this shit up because they knew people was hyped up, angry, full of
There was a
you know
lot
what
of
I'm saying?
crazy shit too. Like in Philly, like I remember it was like almost in every city a cop killed somebody. In Philly, they killed like two people, like around that time with George Floyd. Two people got killed
Yep,
by the police right at
yep.
around the same time. That's why they rioted
Me
in
too,
Philly. Then it happened in
yeah.
Baltimore, I think in New York.
It
I don't know.
happened here, dog,
That's
during
what
the
I'm saying.
protest.
People just getting killed by the police right at the same time George Floyd. So it's like,
Yeah.
are they doing this shit on
It was
purpose? Are they
more
just
against
killing
the
people
police,
on
dog.
purpose?
When I looked at that, the way I looked at that protest wasn't for George Floyd, dog. It was a
No.
fuck the police protest. That's what I called it. I was like, this
Yeah.
is against police brutality. Cause fucking, I've been getting my ass whooped my whole life by the police and shit. And so I can't say that they only do it to black people. They only do it to people of color. They do it to
They
everybody,
beat
dog.
the
They do
shit
it.
out of me. I got the shit kicked
Yeah.
out of me by the
It
police.
goes
I can
by.
tell you a
I
story.
always said
Handcuffed
that,
me.
bro. It's
They
the poor
handcuffed me to a
against the
cell and
rich.
beat me with nightclubs.
It's
You
the
know that?
poor against the rich, dog. That's what it is. It's whatever
Yeah.
tax bracket you're in, dog. That's what they go by. And that's real spit. Because you go holler at some of them rich dudes, like even these rappers, some of these rappers that are big time, them motherfuckers act totally different now and shit because they got all that money and shit than they
That's
did.
why I had beef with Talib. That's why I had beef
Yeah.
because he would always be like telling me like, oh, like he thought like I was some like rich Jewish dude. I'm like, I live in the hood. Like the fuck you talking about? Like you're richer than me. You're fucking privileged. You grew up fucking privileged. What the fuck are you talking about? Come
He live
here.
in the
You won't even come to
suburbs
my
of
neighborhood.
fucking
Guarantee
Cincinnati.
it.
He grew up in the suburbs of Cincinnati and shit. What the fuck? Had a
And then he
nice ass
went to
house.
Connecticut.
He had a nice life. Went to a private school. He got a brother that's a lawyer and works for Meta. For well, he might not work for Meta no more. I heard he got fired because he was doing too much with Talib. Talib was
His
using.
mom's a professor.
Yeah, Brenda. Hi, Brenda. How you doing? Next time, like Vicious said, next time spit them out. You know what I'm saying? Take it in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no more Talibs running around here, Brenda. And I don't give a fuck if Talib gets mad. I know sometimes shout out to my homie Black Antonio Todd and Telefig Kualai. I know
Yeah.
sometimes he be like, Gutty, you got we gonna
Hell
chill on
yeah, James.
What up though, James? Where you from, James? Rep your hood, rep your city, rep your
And he
state,
put
rep your
Israel.
country.
That's what's up, yo. That's what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying though, like these,
Oh,
when it came to
Israel,
that though, all they gotta do is you want to end the war, release the hostages, stop shooting rockets.
hey, that was crazy though. When I did see the video when they first came through there when they kidnapped that pop star, that young chick that sang and shit and all that. But I think they let her go. Oh, he's from London, but he's representing for Israel. I see the flag.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy in London right now, man. Oh,
oh,
what's up, Kendra?
you got your mod in the building.
Yeah. No, she lived in Broomall, like she lived in Marble when I lived there. She went to high school with me.
That's what's up. What up, though? Are you subscribed to the Hood Smokers podcast?
Yeah, definitely got to subscribe to the Hood Smokers podcast.
He
That's
said,
what's
I
up.
ain't.
You a Jew? I'm half Jewish, man. I'm Italian and Jewish. My father's Italian, and my mom. I was too Jewish to be. Too Italian to be Jewish, and too Jewish to be Italian. That's what I
Like
was told.
Bugsy
And
Siegel
that's
in the building. I'm gonna start calling you Bugsy Siegel and shit. We got Bugsy Siegel in the building. Bugsy Siegel Jr.
oh yeah. I'm like half Bugsy, half Al Capone, fighting with myself.
Well, nah,
Oh
Bugsy
yeah,
Siegel was half Jewish and half Italian. That's why he couldn't become a full fledged. He only reason Lucky Luciano was the one that brought people in that wasn't Italian into the mafia, because
yeah.
they want to be able to trace you back to your bloodline. That's why
Yeah,
you
you
had to be.
can't. Yeah, you can't. But that's the thing, though. Now in America, with a lot of Italians being mixed, if the shit's gonna go on, I think they're gonna start letting people get made who are half Italian. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna be a half thing. All right. Well, if you're not 100%, if you're half Italian, all right. And then after that, like 100 years from now, I don't know what the fuck. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think everybody gonna be mixed in this country. That's why I keep saying
I think
everybody
everybody
gray.
pretty much already is, dog. I don't
Yeah,
know anybody that's 100% anything, dog. I don't think there is. You could find anybody, even like we. I don't know. Y'all got these in Pennsylvania because I know you got a lot of country out there too. Because I drove through the whole state a couple times, more than a couple times, and like that's how Michigan is. We got a lot of country. We got a lot of like areas where it's urban, and then you go out and it's country and shit. You know what I'm saying? You head north an hour and you're in the woods and shit.
yeah. That's how
Right.
it is here.
Yeah, for fucking I forgot what I was going to say. What we were talking about? I just smoked a blunt. And I'm waking up. I'm just getting my
Yeah,
caffeine
me
and
too. But yo, that's another thing. I didn't want to be like disrespectful to the show. I don't want to get you in no trouble with the guests. Like I'm like thinking to myself, fuck, I shouldn't have said that shit. Not because of what I'm saying, because I still believe what I'm saying, but because I don't want to go against y'all, like try to make, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to cause problems like that. So I felt bad
No,
about that shit.
it's like if you wanted to, like on the Chestermcfly show, dog. I mean, if he's willing to, I mean, I seen like the lynch mob commented and shit on under the video. JD put the mic drop from the lynch mob. I mean, this dude is known by everybody in hip hop. You could have we can maybe have an episode of the Chester McFly show where you talk about. He might want to talk about something like that. He seemed like
I
the type
respect
of
what you done in hip hop. Yeah, I can respect what you done in hip hop, but I ain't got to agree with you politically. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, that's
That's
what I
I.
said. We all got that's what why our show clicks, dog. Brother King X and Blantonio don't always agree and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it click. And we like that's what a lot of guests told us. Like y'all all got different views on shit. Y'all all look at different shit. But we're all like versed in hip hop. Like we're hip hop babies. That's all we. So we know. I know conscious rap. I know horrorcore rap. I know gangster rap,
Yeah,
reality rap, whatever and shit.
underground rap. Yeah,
Yeah, underground. I've been in the underground. I've been in the underground since
Philly,
'91.
New
And
York, West Coast, East Coast.
I done did shows all over the East Coast. I done did a million shows in Detroit and all around Michigan, Ohio, fucking Houston, Chicago. I just got to hit the West Coast.
Busy.
But I kind of stopped rapping once we started doing once we started doing the show and shit. It was like I ain't have time to go in the studio and record music and drop music. But I got one coming though. I need to go there today because we got that show tomorrow. And I kind of wanted to drop it tomorrow and shit. On No Neck with his punk ass old giraffe with no neck looking motherfucker and shit. I swear I want to
Yeah.
slap the fucking piss out of him. That's why when I shouted out celebrity boxing when Drunken Mass was talking about if rappers got beef, why don't they just fight and shit? They can just fight, you know what I'm saying? Get in the boxing ring or scrap it out or whatever and shit.
If you
Like that
talk to
would
that
make
dude
me.
Damon again, ask him if he knows me. Say my real name. You know what I
All
mean?
right,
Like,
yeah,
oh, I know
yeah,
him. I know him. I drank with him. He was
yeah.
locked up when he was in jail with me. Because like
Okay.
the one guard, it was really crazy. This weird Russian guard, but they called him Turkey. They say he was Turkish, but he was like, oh, anyway. He came up to me and he was like, "Yo, you know what these are?" And he like gave me like a fucking Adderall, like while I was in jail.
Well, he was a
I
guard
was
in
like,
there.
"Yeah," and he hands me an Adderall. He was like foreign. He's like, "You want one?" I was
No,
like,
it's wrong. No,
"Yeah."
no,
And I took that shit, but he was telling me Damon was in there and shit. He was cool, that dude. Like he looked out. He just liked talking to me and shit. We were just bullshit.
that's cool. So y'all hooked up and started drinking after and shit. After, With the was he
Yeah,
still
he
a dog?
wanted. He told me he wanted to do a video because I told him I did videos and shit. He said he wanted to make a video called Crack Hose. He just wanted to go get a whole bunch of crack hose. He wanted me to film it and shit. This guy was wild, man. I was like, he's like, yeah, then we could do Crack Hose Volume 2, and
Hey,
like
dog, he
going
knows
on
what he's
about it.
doing. He knows what he's doing, dog. Shit, that celebrity boxing is blew the fuck up. I remember when it was just like a couple no name motherfuckers like washed up, like
Yeah.
acting like I remember watching Vanilla Ice and who was it? Vanilla Ice and I think what's dude's name that played on what you talking about, Willis? With fucking
Oh,
different strokes.
yeah.
The one that was on
What's his name?
drugs and
Gary
shit.
Coleman. Gary
Yeah,
Coleman.
not Gary Coleman though. Vanilla Ice ain't fight him. Rest in peace to him. But the one that Ty Bridges, the brother, Willis.
Yeah, the taller one.
The
I
one
didn't know
that
they
got in a
fought.
bunch of trouble. Supposedly he went to rehab. He had to go to rehab. He was strung out and shit and all that. He fought Vanilla Ice. And I remember I bet 100 push-ups I was in prison. So we were betting push-ups. I bet 100 push-ups with this dude on my block. And he was like, so I was like, yeah, Vanilla Ice finna whoop his ass. I'm thinking Vanilla Ice finna get him. And Ty Bridges he beat the brakes off Vanilla Ice. I was like, damn, man, what the fuck? I had to do 100 push-ups on call too. So I could be in the child line. He'd be like, give me two of them push-ups. And I had to be in the child line and do two push-ups and get out. Now you owe me 98 push-ups.
That's
That's
crazy.
how we used to do that shit on call. It wasn't the point like, okay, you got to do 100 straight. It was I got 100 push-ups. I can make you do these 100 anywhere. We could be in line going to a medical call out. Give me a push-up. Like, you owe me a push-up. Like, and then knock it off. So that's something we did in prison. We were using stamps as currency. That's what we used to bet with. Then they took them out of
You didn't
prison.
bet with no soups?
Yeah, we bet with all that. That was up Moore County. But once we got to prison, we had stamps. Because you know what stamps, if you order from the store, they come in a roll. If you order a bunch, you can send those back to the world. And this is a free game for you motherfuckers locked up. You send them back to the world, and you have one of your homies, you send the shit back, seal the envelope, put the stamps, but you don't break them. You keep them in the circle and shit.
Yeah.
And you mail them out to the world. You have your homie go to the post office and you get cash back. So what we used to
Oh
do,
shit.
yeah, we was gambling in there, and stamps at that time was like 32 cents a stamp, but they were a quarter. Four of them were $1. That's how you charge. That's how we used them in prison. So you'd find a dude who writes a lot of letters, an old head or something like that, and be like, I
Yeah.
got all these stamps. You know what I'm saying? I got like $200 in stamps. I'll give you $150 worth of stamps, but order me 200 stamps off the store that come in a row. These ones
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you gonna be cut up. You know what I'm saying? But you use them. I don't use them like that. So fucking, I ain't writing that many letters and shit. So fucking, that's how we used to do that shit. I used to mail it back. I ain't gonna say my homie's name and shit, but fucking, I used to mail it back to the world and shit. I still talk to him to this day, and he be sending me the cash back and shit. Like
That's smart.
fucking,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You put it on your books, like you get the money and just put it on the books.
yeah. Or if I want, like, was getting a tattoo or something and shit, he send the money to the tattoo artist and shit, send him the food and shit, shit like that. Yeah.
I've been
But
seeing all
then,
this shit like on here, like going live. I've been seeing like lives of like people in prison like doing live. Did you ever
oh
see
yeah.
that shit?
Yeah. They were
Yeah,
doing
that
it out
shit's
here.
crazy.
They showed this dude in Wayne County Jail in Detroit. He went live. I was watching my Instagram. They was wild. And when the COVID hit, these motherfuckers had like towels and shirts wrapped around their face. And anybody that was coughing, they was like making these motherfuckers stay way in the back of the rock. And this is a small ass rock with like, it's like a 15-man, 16-man rock, and they got like 20, 30 people on it. So it's overcrowded already. And anybody who's coughing, they're ready to beat these motherfuckers' asses. Like, stay in the back, stay in the back. They got shirts tied around their faces and shit and all this. Like, you coughing, stay the fuck in the back. Like, you get your ass beat, you come over here. Like, that
But it's like
COVID
during
shit.
COVID and shit.
Yeah, during COVID, it was wild. I seen a few live videos in Wayne County Jail. It was crazy. I was like, damn. But then I had a few homies that got out, like on attempt murder charges. They didn't get out. They ended up going to prison, but they got out on tether while instead of going to the county during COVID, they were letting
Yeah,
people out on big cases, murder cases and shit like that on tether just to not put them in the county and shit because of COVID and shit. COVID was crazy, dog. I was riding around exposing. They're still taking some of my videos down, like some punk ass snake could go report it and shit. I'm like, damn, I made that video 4 years ago, and now they're taking it down and shit, saying it was a like against the COVID
Yeah,
guidelines or
no,
something?
yeah, I've been checking. I got shit. I had a couple videos of mine taken down. I get worried. I don't want to get like strikes and shit. You
Yeah,
know what
they
I mean?
don't. Right. We got one. And when you get three, it's a wrap, dog. Your channel getting to.
I got one from JoJo CY because I peeled it. I said it was fair use. I was just like joking around with the video. I said she looked like Gene Simmons, and I guess she didn't like that shit. And I appealed it, and they told me like if you lose this appeal, you're gonna get a strike. Like you could just take the appeal down and just delete the video. They were like telling me ahead of time, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm going for." Because I won like a couple appeals before that, so I tried and I lost, and they gave me the strike for that shit. So I was pretty pissed. That was just a
What's
couple days ago. Yeah.
yeah, you gotta chill. Not try to stay away from the strikes. And you gotta watch what when you make shorts, because what they do is they'll notify whoever made the video.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
like that, because like Vlad's punk ass, I heard it come out his mouth. He was like, anybody uses clips from my videos, he was like, I sue their ass. He was like, either they pay me for it or I sue them and shit. This and that. He
Yeah,
flat
but see,
out said that.
that's bullshit though. Like he could put on the videos like that you don't. So like what I do is I remix shit and like in the section where you could remix it, yo, like the people had the option. Like I could put on there, I don't want my video to be remixed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or I could choose like maybe you could just use it for audio. You could check that like you could just use the
Yeah.
audio and not like the video, and then like whatever. So if you check that, then nobody can. If you don't, then you're allowing people to do that. And that's when you sign a YouTube contract, that's what it is. You know what I mean? Whether you like it or not. I love my videos. People could make fun of me and shit. I don't give a fuck. Make fun of me in the shorts. Because then I make money too. Because if they blow up, I make money. You know what I'm saying? It's good for
Yeah,
all of
dog.
us.
That's what I said. Trolls, they're like haters. They're fans in denial. That's why they tune in. Why else would they waste all their time tuning in and watching and talking shit? That's what they like when you engage with them, dog. That's what a troll wants. They want whoever they go to troll, they want them to engage with them and shit, dog.
Hell
That's
yeah.
why Talib was so like he got caught up in it, dog, because he was like always engaging. And I think that's why so many Karens fuck with him. Because they're like, oh, this guy's famous. This is Talib. They don't know
Yeah.
shit about his music or none of that. They know he's a famous rapper, and they're like, "Oh, and he's talking to me on here, so we're gonna agree with him, so he'll kiss our ass." And that's who
Yeah.
was trolling us was like Karens. When I go look at their profile, I'm like, "This bitch is sticking up for Talib." Like this.
Yeah, and but it was a lot of foreigners too, and I think a lot of count. Did you see that one? I was just talking to Blantonio about it. That if you would have a problem with Talib, they would go on your page and take your picture and put it on their page as a post, and it was just pictures of people that had problems with Talib. I don't know if you ever seen that one, and they would always like, yeah, they would like put all these stories like this guy's a racist or he's a not like whatever Talib would say. They would go on with
Not
that and make
the
these posts. Yeah, they had one for me. I think they had one for Blantonio and shit. Real, and he remembers it. But like some dude like that, and I don't. When Talib's page got taken down, I didn't see that page ever again. So I thought maybe it was him. You know what I mean? Doing that, pretending to be somebody else. And a couple other people agree with me on that. I don't know if you ever heard about that. Like he was like pretending to like have other accounts, and like when you be talking to somebody who's defending Talib, it was really him. Like sometimes that's what I thought.
Yeah, that's what he got fake accounts. Yeah, he's still on Instagram trolling under some other name, some white fucking Karen bitch from somewhere and shit. It's really Talib, yo.
I wouldn't
You
be
know he likes to
surprised.
get paid. Well, you know when we had him, Ryan Glover on, we brought um, what's her name? Damn, I feel fucked up. I can't
Haters
remember.
hate because they're mad.
Yeah, shout out to
So,
DC. Yeah, they still peeing on their little nuts and shit.
fucking right.
They ain't got no nuts. That's why they gotta hide behind a motherfucking computer and talk shit. I be telling people I'll pull up all the time. I be going live and show my location. Anybody can get at me. I ain't hard to find. I'll tell you where I'm at and shit. If
I
I
say the
when I
same
hit
shit.
the
Like or like I show my face on my picture. Like a lot of them don't even show their face, and then like have like
yeah,
no videos and shit. Like why are you on
you
YouTube?
gotta watch that, dog, because we had a problem with somebody who used to we used to rock with. I ain't gonna say his name. I know Hood Smoker podcast. He used to do a lot of the flyers and all that. But they had a whole crew that was called the No Face Gang, and all their pictures there are a bunch of like young Mexicans from out there by like New Mexico, California, supposedly, but it ended up being the same person. But all the pictures was like they didn't show their faces. I even had dude come on the show one time. He ain't show his face and shit, bro. Mexican dude, he had like a mask on. And we come to find out, he started hating on Blantonio and shit. And because Blantonio was getting more into the show, co-hosting, and Blantonio's like, I make
Yeah,
some dope flyer. He wasn't trying to step on his toes. He was just offered saying like I can take some of the workload off him and shit. He ain't got to make all the flyers. He ain't got to make all the promos. He was like, I'll help him out. I'll do some, I'll make some too and shit. Like and this
yeah,
and that. And Blantonio brought a whole new different level to it and shit and made him doper. And it was dope. But dude got mad and I still was fucking with dude, but he got mad and then we started getting trolled by like a whole bunch of motherfuckers. But we found out it was all the same dude and they were all part of this no mask gang.
yeah,
No face. You couldn't see their face. They just made a and even I remember too, he told me how he clicked up with this one dude I know in the rap game. I ain't gonna say his name neither, but fucking I remember him telling me that's how he got down with him. He wanted them to make a bunch of fake accounts and shit, like a fake bunch of fake Facebook accounts, and that's how he clicked up with him and shit, and that's what he did. So we found out all these trolls was just one person, dog, and he built these accounts. He even tried to make one from Detroit, called the dude DeAndre Johnson, black dude. This dude didn't have a mask on though, and he tried to tell us all this bad shit about Blantonio, this and that. And the school he put down, the high school he went down to, wasn't even from Detroit, from Michigan. Not even in Michigan. He like just put some random school. He didn't know shit about Detroit. I started talking to dude, but there he was. It was basically they went on a smear campaign. One guy with about 50 fake accounts on
yeah. That's crazy.
Blantonio. And Blantonio dropped one diss track, dog. He hurt this dude's feelings so bad. There's two of them. There was two of them. They were tuned in watching. He flipped that shit so hard on them, dog. That I mean, I guess they're still low key hating, but they can't do nothing. They ain't got the power because even though the trolls is gonna lose in the long run, he just and that's what I told Blantonio. We just gonna keep winning. He's seen that we ain't look at we ain't believe that bullshit. That nobody believe it. We blocked as many of those fake accounts as we could, but they're still popping up. Like Brother King actually hit me up and be like, "Yo, this dude just hit me up and said so and so, this and that." Oh, Blantonio's a racist. Blantonio, like, get the fuck out of here, you know. Like, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
they try to do to me too. Like with Tyler's people was doing that shit to me.
they do that, dog. Especially if they see you're starting to win and shit. Like they'll start hitting it. Like if you start interviewing people and like how we put our flyers out way ahead of time, they'll start trying to hit up our guests that Reach Around Records and Master Splinter and them. Like
That's
that.
fucked up.
They reached out to Brother Marquise from Two Live Crew, but he let us know he's a real one. He was like, man, this dude's hitting us up talking about y'all, bad business, this and that, all this shit. But he knew we wasn't. We brought him to Detroit. Monte Cristo brought him to Detroit. We brought the show at the fucking Sting nightclub and shit. It was dope. 6-4, who was on the show, Six Mix. They had a private party that night. Brother Marquise did and shit. Fucking, it was. He seen that Master Splinter was just trying to do some snake shit, but
Hey
they get
Renee.
try to hate on you. Yeah, peeing on they baby nuts.
Hmm.
You know, shit.
But yeah,
Uh,
that's how it is though. They always got these haters online, and I don't know. I think it just comes with the territory. You know what I mean? So if you're doing good work, you're gonna get haters. Yo, I expect it. You know what I mean?
no, yeah. The more you get, so yeah. That's why, like yesterday, it was almost kind of a test, only because my engineer was fucking running late as hell. So we didn't start up because I need him to set everything up. I can't set all that shit up, dog. We got all the shit that he got to set up to get it started like that. I don't know how to do all that shit.
Yeah, I don't know how to do none of that shit. That's why I'm impressed with you guys. You can play bit. I don't know how to do none of that shit.
Yeah, I can. I wouldn't be able to if he didn't do it. If Southwest Word wasn't doing it, but he was running a little bit late, and he got it going like right 5 minutes before 8, right before the show started. So and Drunken Mass was having problems on the Discord, so that's why I made that messenger group. I added him to this promo group we had where we just put the flyers in. That's just got me, Blantonio, and Brother King X in it. It's our engineer and fucking man, I'm getting messages now. Mary Jack James, hello.
Hmm.
Like you need
That
artwork, you
definitely
need
comes with
fucking
the
views.
territory. Yeah,
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
right.
But I was gonna test to see if like you know how when we go live like this, a lot of eyes come on like within the first couple minutes.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
fuck it, we only got 5 minutes for the start. And soon I usually do like 15 minutes, 20 minutes so I can share it around and post it everywhere. I was like, I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna see like what happens and shit. So I only played one song, that Dice song, What Up Though. And then I started the show because Drunken Mass was ready and shit.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
started showing shit. And it kind of worked and shit. I'm gonna try it with Matthew Fisher tomorrow night, where I ain't even gonna do the starting soon. I'm gonna just start the show right at 8 o'clock on the dot and shit, and just start it and see how it does as like a test run and shit, different shit. Cause every 100 episodes we do a season, so season 3 will
Yeah,
be
so what
done.
happens? If season three is done, like when do you start season four? Like right
We
away?
usually do- Nah, we usually take like a week off, and we like plan a fuck like get the guests lined up, all that shit. We'll probably have a new intro. We usually do a new intro, all that shit. That's why Black Tony was talking about anybody who got any ideas or
I got a
anything like
couple
that.
people. I got a couple guests actually. I hit up, so I got a couple guests for y'all. Definitely, I got
Oh
to
yeah,
talk to you and them and like try to set up some dates.
yeah. We're gonna switch little things up, change it up some, different shit like that. So we talk
Yeah, I
about it
got
for
this
about.
guy, Stainless Steel, like from Exton. He's like right outside Philly. He's a dope rapper. He does like a lot of like eccentric rap. Like he has shit like I like his samples and like I don't know. It's just like you could it's something you could smoke to. Like it's like trip hop, I guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like kind of a trip hop kind of a style. I love his style though. It's dope. You got
Yeah,
to
true.
hear it.
Yeah.
And then the other dude I was talking to, what you may call Murdoch, he was in the group with Lex Starwin, so he definitely be a great guest. He's always
Oh
talking
yeah.
shit that dude online, yo. John Murdoch, if you ever see him on Facebook, he always talks shit. Me and him go at it sometimes too, but that's why I like the dude. You know what I mean? Like that's what I try to say
How's
to
your
people.
boy?
Like
How's JP's album doing, dog? Cause I fuck with him. I've been sharing this shit around. You know what I'm saying? I've been sharing it around, posting in the round table. How's his album doing? You know, talk to
uh,
him.
I don't know how it's doing. I've heard the album. I thought it was really good. And he's talking about doing a music video for it that he was going to
Gotta
do in
get in
Kensington. He said he's going to film a video in Kensington, like
it. Get in
which
it.
like I think that's going to be crazy. He asked me if I wanted to be in it. I said I'll be in it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
if
shit.
he
I'm from the
films up
Philly.
there,
Let
I
me
told
know
you it's
when.
tough to film there though, man. Like, cause you can't film there a lot of places because you know people be selling shit. They don't want you filming there. So that's I don't know how he's gonna do it. Like he's probably might have to pay people off to film in the area. Like, yo, I'll give you money, let me film here.
Shit. Tell JP, me and brother King X will come out there. It's only Philly ain't that long of a drive, dog. We drive out there to Philly and shit, jump in the video. Tell him hit us up and shit. I'll hit him up and shit. We'll get up
Yeah,
in the video
he
with
would be
y'all.
down for that. Hell yeah, he would be down
Yeah,
for that.
yeah. Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, you good? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
King.
yeah, yeah. King all day, King. Yeah, hold on.
There's the
Get
lottery
some
right there.
bathroom. You good though? How's your son doing? I didn't see him today. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he works every day. Yeah, that's why he buys all those dusties. Plumbing. Plumbing? Yeah. You know plumbing good? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, we work out there in Oakland County, the rich people's houses and stuff. All right, bro, take it easy. Yeah, the Arabs love me everywhere, dog. I don't know why, but I get along with all the Arabs. Like some people have a problem with them and shit like that, but I get along with them all. Like they all be like every store I be at and shit. They know me. Like I'll move out of the neighborhood for like years and come back to a store I used to go to all the time, and they remember my ass and shit. And I don't even remember them, but I'm like, "What? Hey, where you been? Where you been, brother?"
Yeah, that's how I know him at the 7-Eleven up here and shit. They cool. Every time I went live, I went live a couple times and I had Blantonio on. He heard me talking to him and shit. And I don't know, he was laughing in the
I
background and
was
shit.
interviewing them during the pandemic because gas prices here. I know they dropped everywhere in the country, but they dropped down to $1 here. And I was interviewed this guy, on he would worked at the gas station. His name was O over in Southwest. And I interviewed him. It was a pretty funny interview because he was like a younger dude and shit. He didn't own the gas station. He was he just worked up there. He was cool as hell. And I was interviewing him and shit up there. I'm like, let me get an interview, dog. Gas is at
That's
a
cool.
dollar and shit. What the fuck is going on? Is this the end of the world?
See, I feel funny sometimes, like when I go in the stores and go live. Like I don't know, I just feel like everybody's like looking at me because I used to work at like Giant and shit. I remember like at the end of the night, like they had this one dude who used to come in and like do TikTok dances. He would put his phone up like on the counter, like while he's in line, like doing these weird dances. I'm like, I don't want to be that dude. You know what I mean? All right, that's cool, Kendra.
Yeah. Make sure you
Definitely hop back
subscribe to the
in.
Hood Smoker podcast. Hood Smoker podcast right here. Hood Smoker.
Yeah,
What it
check
is?
out the Hood Smokers podcast. I have it in my community. Like I share a lot of their videos and their lives in my community. So
Yeah,
if you like
Chestermcfly
check,
is Hood Smoker. Official Hood Smoker. So we'll have
oh
to
yeah,
that's what I mean by when the season when we add things, that's why we add different shit. Like I told you the first season we had like different things we did. Like Mr. Go To and Blantonio had a thing where it was called I ain't gonna lie. That's what it was called. And they would talk about different shit. And like before they would say something, they'd be like, I ain't gonna lie, but and they would keep it 100 about shit that people usually try to like not want to talk about. But they say it in a funny way because you got Blantonio Ty and you got Mr. Go To, aka the Black
yeah.
Howard Stern, and they call him that for a reason. You know what I'm saying? He really is. Like when I had him on the show
Well,
in the
old
first.
Howard. So he's probably like old Howard Stern now. Is
No,
kind
he
of
was the first one in Detroit to have this. You know
the
how Howard Stern was getting like his he had a chick come get naked in the studio. He's like known for the first one to do shit like that. He was the first one to get his when he worked at the radio stations here in Detroit. He was the first one to get dude to get his he had a chick come in and give the dude doing the radio. He didn't even know what was going on, and the chick just came in and started giving him head.
That's
Black Howard
crazy.
Stern. But that's how he kind of got the name and shit. But he was kind of like the gatekeeper here in Detroit as far as podcasts went. So I had to get him on the show, and he became a part of it. You know what I'm saying? People respected him here in Detroit as far as the podcast went. They knew him. He had a name in it, and so once he gave us the stamp of approval, we got the stamp of approval from Trick, Voice to 5 9, all of them. It was like, okay, yeah, we're official Detroit. You know what I'm saying? We might have some in the suburbs, but we're Detroit, you know what I'm saying? We're really out here in Detroit. Like we're representing for Detroit. All these other ones that are out in the suburbs. Shout out Pontiac, no hate on Pontiac. We had DJ Nuff Said on from the Music Shop. He's got a dope podcast, but it's more of like radio and shit. He plays this shit every morning on internet radio, like some morning jam shit. He plays like different shit like that, which is pretty dope.
I remember when I first started hearing about podcasting like 10 years ago, and then I tried to check it out, and there was a lot of like nerdy dudes on there, like NPR type shit. And I don't know, I couldn't get into it. But when Joe Rogan started doing that shit,
Yeah. He's
I
like the
thought
king of
that's
that shit.
yeah, his shit started popping off, and I just liked what he was talking about, and then this got me more interested. And I tried it with a couple of my friends, like to do a podcast, but they just unreliable. Every one of them, I would try to get a fucking podcast
That's the
going.
number
I would
one
say,
thing is consistency, dog. You got to be consistent with it because you know how many people start podcasts and then I'll be looking at their shit. I'll be like, all right, here's a new podcast. Let me check it out. And they got like 4 episodes, 5 episodes, but they're like from 5 years ago, 6 years. I'm
yeah,
like, y'all get another episode and shit. Like, well, you got to be consistent with it. Like we was doing them fucking 3, 4 times a week sometimes, and then we just started. That started being too much and shit. And it was like, okay, because it's shit, just like work and shit. I mean, you got
yeah,
to
that's
do
a lot of
research.
work. Oh yeah,
Yeah, you gotta guess. You can't. You gotta know who they are, especially when you start having guests you don't know who they are. So you got to research them. It's easy when you got a guest that you know personally. You know what I'm saying? You know everything about them. But once you got guests that from other countries, other cities, other places like that, you don't. You got to
you gotta
start
do
finding.
homework. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I realized that like when I started doing some interviews, I was like, I would like to be more prepared. You know what I mean? Like, and have more questions ready for them. And that's what you guys do. I give you guys a lot of credit for that. It's a lot of hard work, man.
yeah. No, see, I try not to write questions down, though. I just try to like remember like certain shit about them, like that would I'd want to talk about them with and shit like that. And a lot of them I was fans of growing up. A lot of our guests, you know what I'm saying? So I know their music and shit, like Black Sea from RBL, all of the Lynch Mob. I used to listen to all that shit. So it's like that shit's easy to me. It's like, but I don't never fan up. I ain't never been a fanatic like that. Because when I was young, I had an OG tell me a long time ago when I was in the rap game, I was in the studio. There's a dope ass studio and shit downtown. I mean, look like some Dr. Dre shit. and it was one of the producers from Slum Village. Shout out to Slum Village, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. But his name was Jeter. And he told me, he was like, I don't care if Michael Jackson walk up in this motherfucking studio. You just be like, what up, Mike? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eminem walk up in here. You just be like, what up, Em? You can't be no fanatic if you ever want to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? You got to
No,
think like you're already at that level and shit. You're equal and shit. They ain't no different.
I
When they
learned
die,
that.
they keep
Yeah, I learned that the hard way, man. You know, what I mean, I told you with Bam Margera in Westchester. Like, I came up to him like a fan and shit. I was friends with his brother-in-law. Like, we used to hang out. Me and his brother-in-law were tight. And one day he was all fucked up in the bar and he spit in my face and shit. I was like, yo, I know your brother-in-law. And he's like, I don't know you. And he was like an asshole. He spit in my face. And after that point, I grabbed him by like his neck and I slammed his face on the fucking bar. And then the bouncers threw me out the fucking out the bar and shit. Ryan's Pub. Shout out Ryan's Pub, Westchester. They threw me out that motherfucker. But you know what I'm saying? Like I was trying to be nice, and at that moment when he spit on me and shit, like
that's
all that
cool.
shit went out the fucking window. You know what I
Yeah, I'm
mean?
gonna break your fucking face, dog. Yeah. I'd have fucking cracked him with a beer bottle. Anything in here, I'm gonna have you touching the bar stools, the bar, the bartender. I'm gonna beat you with the bartender, motherfucker.
If he
I'm gonna
had
beat
he
you
had
with
bouncers with him and shit, you couldn't do nothing. He had security.
this.
You know what I mean?
I told you like when I first got out the joint, dog, I was so damn buff and big. I ain't no more. I gotta get back in the gym and quit these cigarettes. But back then, dog, I used to roll up on the bouncers like, you better get some bigger bounce. I'd be flexing my chest out and shit. I used to always wear white beaters and shit. I'd be like, veins all busting. I'd be like, you better get some bigger bouncers and shit. They be like, we gotta call the cops. We gotta call the cops up here. They be cutting me off from drinking, so I send one of my homeboys up to the bar, like, grab me a beer, dog. Like, and
Yeah,
then they'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you gotta go. You gotta go. Like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm drinking my shit and try to take this beer from me. I wish you would. And they wouldn't, but they called the cops. And then some always click, like, all right, I gotta go. I ain't even supposed to be here. I'm on parole and shit. I ain't even supposed to go to a sports game, a casino, nowhere they serve alcohol. I couldn't go.
That's crazy.
Here I am hammered and shit at the fucking bar. Shit, doing a show and shit. We used to take the mics and shit, fucking before the shows would start. We just grab the mics on the stage and start acting stupid, grab them. I'd be like, here, Severe, he was dope at freestyle. I'd be like, start freestyling, dog. Fuck this shit. Like, we just take the whole fucking venue over and shit. It was wild, dog. Like, fucking, we used to wild out. We got known for, like, scrapping to our, we used to do our shows back in the days where we didn't, our show CD, we just had the music playing. You know how now they put the words behind it and shit when rappers do it, they got their words playing.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
never
yeah,
did
yeah.
that. Yeah, you got your homie Luke Riggs in the building.
What's up, Luke? Luke's a
Yeah,
good dude.
what up, though, Luke? Luke
Yeah, I told him
Skywalker.
to
I am your
join the
father.
Hood Smokers. He was in the Hood Smokers last night. He popped in.
Yeah, what up, though, Luke? I am your father, Luke. Luke, I am your father. Fuck, we used to get in fights, though. We got a reputation because our shit would start playing the music, but there would be no lyrics over it because we actually really rapped over our lyrics, over our music, over our beats.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
lyrics over it. And fucking we start end up like getting in fights with the crowd, dog. And next thing you know, we're fighting with the crowd while our beats playing. So we got a reputation for that. Like our music will play without the lyrics while we're fighting with the crowd, and
That's
kind of like
funny.
how Necro said he got known for punching people in the face. That's why I wish I'd have done more research on Necro. You know what I'm saying, dog? Because I could have shared some stories with him of punching people in the face at shows too and shit. Like, well, we used to do that, dog. We did our Esham show when he first signed with Psychopathic back in 2004. And fucking, it was all juggalos in there. They all had their face painted. But Esham only sold 200 and something tickets. We sold like over 300 tickets. We had people from every, I was part of Ghetto Zone Productions, this label, and we were like 20 deep, just the group. And we went back there, and Rude Boy,
Awesome,
Violent J.
man.
Chelsea, he come up there. We got the whole crowd hype. We had him chanting Southwest in the crowd and all that shit. And he was like, "You don't grab the mics till your music starts playing." And my one homeboy, Snowman, he was like, man, fuck you. Who the fuck is
Yeah,
you? And then
yeah,
Violent J's cousin, Rude Boy. And Rude Boy's like, okay, you want your music played? And he stormed off the stage like a big baby. This at Harpo's, one of the biggest venues in Detroit. He stormed out the stage. I'm the first one to go up to rap. So we're up there, we're ready. We're waiting for our music to go. We got 300 people in front of us in the thing, plus the juggalos are out there and mixed
yeah.
in and shit with their faces painted. And fucking, we're on some straight gangster shit. We ain't on the juggalo shit. We're on some straight street
So
shit,
what, the
hood shit.
Juggalos are all against you and shit?
They weren't at the time at first, but Rude Boy came out and fucking fucked our music up when the CD came on. I heard it and it was all
Mm,
distorted and fucked up. I was like, man, fuck this. I started talking shit. Then a bottle come flying up on the stage, a what regular old water bottle. You know what I'm saying? Not no
yeah,
glass, but
yeah,
it
yeah.
hit my boy
But still, yeah.
Casper. This stage is like 10 feet in the air, dog. It's a big stage. It's a big venue and shit. It holds a few thousand people. And fucking Casper jumps off the stage and shit starts by. I'm like, oh shit, it's going down. I see all this. I hand my mic to my boy Showtime, who was backstage. Eshawn's boy Mo Baddest came on stage. Severe stayed up there. They just freestyled the whole set while there was like all of us and our fans were beating the brakes out of every juggalo in there. I got a reputation of not liking juggalos, and that's why I always got to tell people, Gutter don't hate juggalos. You know what I'm saying? It was just this show. I talked to Esham years later about it too and shit. And he's like, well, you know, stuff had, because I was like, I told Esham, I was like, Rudy fucked up your sound too, dog. I was like, when you went on stage, the only people that was down there was us. I was like, all your fans got their ass beat and dipped out of Harpo's because that's what
Oh
happened.
shit.
Anybody with their face painted, dog, was getting fucked up. We was beating anybody with dog. We was beating them. They were running out. They said as soon as we started coming off the stage, we had people because we had like like even family. I had like cousins and shit there. They're like, yeah, half of Harpo's ran out the back. Like,
Yo, you should make that a shirt. Like have like a whole bunch of people in like Juggalo face running like and call it the running of the Juggalos.
I ain't trying to get no. I ain't trying to get attacked by one of the top 10 gangs in the world, the Juggalos. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying?
I had beef with like an affiliate of them. When I was in high school, I used to freestyle and rap. I would make like mixtapes and shit. I would put like instrumentals and I would rap over them with the tape and shit. So this dude, like Chris Rose, he was like his dad was a producer for ICP. So he had like a couple of these dudes come over, and then they fucking made a diss track, and they threw my name in there because I was like the only MC in town. You know what I mean? So they throw my fucking name in there, and so then I made a diss track about him and shit. And I came back, and I was coming back at all them motherfuckers in ICP. They
So you
were
know what
called
was
what
crazy?
they called Philly. They called Philadelphia. They were called Philadelphia or something. And I was like, these motherfuckers ain't seen
I've
no
heard of
Philly.
something like that, but I don't think they was juggalos. Maybe I heard somebody from Philly call it Philadelphia. Is that like a
Yeah, yeah, that's like a thing. And there's a
nickname?
bong. There's a bong company called Philadelphia. Like they sell
Okay.
pipe. You probably
Because I've
seen it.
heard that before. Yeah, I've
I
heard
guarantee
they
you've seen
call
one of
me.
those pipes. Like they
Yeah,
say Philadelphia on it. Like they're pretty
yeah,
thin.
maybe that's what it was. Yeah, because I know I heard that before. I seen it, but I don't think it was from the juggalos and shit. But no, I ain't had no hate for him, dog. It was just the whole point. Esham felt us on that. You know, Esham wasn't a juggalo. He was on before. He put ICP on, but there's some history we don't really talk about it because one of our homies has a part to do with it. But shut Real Life Productions down, and he had to sign with Psychopathic because he had nowhere else to go and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
And
yeah.
uh,
They gave him the opportunity. I would take that shit too. Fucking right.
they were blowing up and shit, so they put him, and they're still doing tours to this day and shit. So I
I
mean,
sign it. Yo, shit, they would sign me. I sign with Psychopathic right the fuck now. I don't care. Yo, like I said, that beef I had was in high school, and it was just one dude. It wasn't ICP, so I didn't have problems with them. I was just, it was, I was beefing them because they were producing the shit, basically. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
They probably didn't know nothing about that shit. Though, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Under the
because I know
radar.
some cool ass juggalos that are real hip hop heads, like Ox Soprano from New Jersey, who's a part of Underboss Records. Rest in peace, Charlie Rock LD. But he's a juggalo, but he ain't. He's a hood juggalo. Some of them juggalos, all they know is ICP and music like that. They think they're like gods and shit. Like they ain't gods,
Yeah,
dog.
nah.
They ain't even from Southwest Detroit, dog. I hate to bust your bubble, but they from the suburbs. That's why Eminem says that shit in that one song. You ain't never seen a mile roll south of 10. Because south of 8 Mile is Detroit. North of 8 Mile, 9 Mile, 10 Mile, 11 Mile. Once you start getting into there, you're really in the rich neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's true,
Wait, they
boy.
don't. It don't stop. They're all called mile, like each
From
section. Like
it starts at 5 mile and it goes all the way up to like 25.5 mile type shit. But
really?
yeah, yeah. But in Detroit it ends at 8 Mile. That's the border. That's why they called that movie 8 Mile. And
Yeah, yeah.
it really wasn't like. That's why they got a movie that was supposed to come out. It ain't out yet. Joe Torre's in it, the dude from Poetic Justice, Tupac's boy, but he's in it. Quan the Don's in it. We were promoting it for a while. We played the trailer for it, but the movie never came out. It was called The Other Side of 8 Mile, and it never came out though and shit. But they had a billboard out on 8 Mile about it and shit, and they had some Yo-Yo was in it from Ice Cube and shit. That crew fucking, but it never came out. No, that was like 2 years ago. We were promoting that movie and shit, and I heard that they started filming that shit right after 8 Mile. I was in prison when 8 Mile came out. I probably would have been in the crowd at the shelter and shit when he was on stage if I would have been out.
That's That's funny. So if I ever made a movie, I would have to call it like Long Grace Road, because that's the road that goes like I'm like literally like a block away from Philly. So like you know what I mean. So that's my 8 Mile. I'm like right there. People are like you ain't in Philly. I'm a block away. You know what I
That's
mean?
how it is, yeah. Just like if you ever watched that 50 Cent series BMF, they were from Southwest Detroit, but it touched Ecorse, which is a suburb downriver, and they sold their dope in Ecorse, and they beefed with the Ecorse motherfuckers and shit, and that's why they never got on Detroit's FBI. Like they were never investigated. BMF at first wasn't investigated because they weren't slanging dope in Detroit, so they weren't under their radar. They were selling it in the suburbs right
That's
next
smart
door.
though. That's where the fucking money's at though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But it was a ghetto ass suburb though. These motherfuckers are shooting and killing each other in E-course. The E-course
And
police ain't shit neither and shit. I lived in E-course. It's fucking grimy. That's why I used to talk shit to people from E-course and Rouge and shit that were repping Southwest. It was a big thing. They even did a newspaper article about it called Southwest Detroit and Downriver rappers. Which ones was better? Like this shit is in the Detroit Metro Times because it was a lot of downriver rappers were claiming Southwest because they bordered. And I'm
yeah,
thinking like I
that's
lived in East
but
Coast more than shit. It's ghetto. Why don't you rep your hood? You know what I'm saying? Rep this
yeah.
shit. Like what the
Because they
fuck?
sound better. Yeah, it's the same shit here. Like we got two spots like right next to the city I'm next to. Like we got Darby and Upper Darby, and Darby's bad. It was like 50. It's a small town. 55 people got killed there last year. Like that's a lot
Right.
of people for a
Yeah.
small population. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
it's bad there too. But like that's not Philly. It's like you go
Look,
up and then it's like
I'm
a
right
block
here.
away. Same shit.
I'm like I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna here. I'm gonna show you. I'm driving right now. I got a couple minutes to waste, but I gotta go smoke some more weed. But I'm gonna drive by these
I
projects.
gotta
We
do the
keep talking.
same.
It's only like 2 minutes away. Not even 1 minute away. I'm like literally gonna cross over into this city called Inkster. Dog, they call it Compton of Detroit because it's a little city. It was built by Henry Ford back when World War II, World War One, all that. You know, Ford used to make tanks for
Yeah, they would have like
until
they
until
make the
America
airplanes
got
and
involved.
everything.
Yeah, they made it for Hitler though, the German army. Until Hitler called Henry Ford the greatest American. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Until
heard that. I heard that. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and then when we went to war with Germany, when we got involved, we told Ford, look, you got to stop making this motherfucker tanks and shit like that. Fuck that. You making us tanks and shit.
Yeah,
Anyways, he built these projects for his black workers at the Ford companies and shit, at the whatever they call them and shit. You know what I'm saying? The where they built the cars at and shit, the factories and
yeah,
shit.
like low income housing, like near the factories and shit,
Yeah,
basically.
dog. And they, like
Yeah,
I've heard Black 100 even shouted out these projects I'm about to show you, dog. I'm not pulling up in them. I ain't stupid, but there's only one way in and one way out, dog. And they made it like that. The people that live in the projects, they put these big giant cement blocks on other streets so you can't get in or out. So that if the police come through, like cops get murdered here
yeah.
on a regular, dog. I'm gonna
Wait, so
show
is it
you.
like Kensington? Like if people want to cop like dope and shit, like do they gotta
Oh
walk
yeah.
around there to get it? They do. They got to park their car and get out and walk to get it.
You can pull in the projects, but it ain't safe. Oh, it ain't like I mean it's
Yeah, no,
dangerous.
no, yeah. Because like Philly, like when you go to Kensington, you can't drive in there. Like you're supposed to park your car and
Oh
then
no,
walk
you
and get your
driving here.
dope.
I'm just going. I'm gonna drive around the border of this shit right here. Hold on. They're called
See,
Little
but like
Saigon.
even your hoods, like the houses, like if like the ones that are standing look nice. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it looks like a suburb kind of Detroit. A lot of it, like. It's not like row homes like Philly. Like,
All
see,
right,
you
yo.
know,
This is the pro. This is a little side down project. Hold on, it's raining and shit.
and see, that
But
looks like a suburb house. That looks like a rancher house
yeah,
almost. Like, and you're like,
we
that's a
ghetto.
nice
So look,
house.
watch. Here's gonna be where one of the streets used to be. They ended up just putting. I'm gonna show you. They ended up first. It used to just be cement blocks. Now they just put grass here. But every street is like this. See how that street is? You can't pull out or
Yeah,
pull in.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Make
like
it
that
private. Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah.
There's only one way in and one way out, dog. Like even Dice was on the show. Like, yeah, I was out there in Inkster in the projects. I don't know what they was doing, but I felt safe because I was with them
So
and
one
shit.
house boarded up. One house
Yeah,
had their
oh yeah,
windows
there's a
boarded
lot
up.
more to do. Yeah, but that's the problem. Shit up on the curb. Good thing I got a big ass truck,
See,
man.
see what I mean? Like around here though, like the houses here are like row homes. You got like split level houses. See, like they all like connected
Yeah,
like that. And then like you have a lot of
yeah.
apartments and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like this
Here's
was,
another end blocked off. Now they got trees there. See, look, this is the projects. These bitches are all
yeah.
boarded up over here.
But yeah, look, let me show you something. See where I live? Look, right there where that where you see the woods at, where all those trees are, that's Philadelphia.
Right. No, you
Is
showed me
that
that. Yeah, it's right down the street.
you know what I'm
That's what I
saying? Like
mean.
that's Philly right there. You're not from Philly, yeah, you're right. I was from Philly. I was born there. I lived in Overbrook Park in South Philadelphia, and now I'm
Right.
back here. I moved
Well,
everywhere.
they call fucking Detroit hockey town, but everybody pretty much that goes to the Red Wing games ain't from Detroit and shit. They're from the
Yeah, probably
suburbs
all
of Detroit.
suburbs. Yeah, it's like the
Yeah.
same thing with the Flyer fans. A lot of them are from like the suburbs and shit. I don't know, but people like the Broad Street Bullies though when they had them. You ever hear about them?
Yeah, I heard about them. Yeah. Was that
They
were
was
they out of
yeah,
Philly?
yeah. They used to. That's like where like our stadium's on. It's on Broad Street. That's like the main street in Philly.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
why they call them the Broad Street Bullies and shit. Yeah, they
I
had this
remember
one
that.
dude, Dave Schultz. They used to. He had more penalty minutes, one guy, in the whole league, like combined. Like he beat the shit out of everybody. He's always in the penalty box. Yo, he was known for
You
just
ever heard
beating
of
the shit out of people.
you ever heard of a hockey player named Bob Probert
That sounds so
from Detroit?
familiar. That
He
sounds
got
yeah,
caught with
yeah, yeah.
cocaine from Canada. He got banned from Canada, so he had to stop playing hockey because he got caught with coke crossing over to Detroit from Canada. And he was known for fighting. Like they would only send him out there to beat people's ass. That was his job. Just but that was like a
When did he play in the
highlight of my
70s?
childhood.
When did he play?
He might I was a kid when I met him when I got a hockey puck signed by him. I was that was like in the 80s. So
Mm,
yeah, I was a little
I
kid. That
was
was like one of the highlights of my childhood because he was like a brawl. He was like what you're saying, a brawler. Like he was the one they sent in to fuck somebody up when it was time to put somebody out. They sent Bob Probert out there, and you knew he was gonna
yeah.
fight. You know what I'm saying?
That's like that
Bob
guy
Probert.
Dave Schultz. They call that guy Dave Schultz the Hammer, Dave the Hammer Schultz, and he would beat the shit out of everybody. That dude. I think he became a wrestler afterwards. Like for a while,
Right.
this dude was nuts. That's why I was asking you if he played in the 70s because maybe that guy fought Dave
Yeah, I
Schultz. That'd
mean,
be a dope fight.
he had to
I
stop
look,
playing hockey because you know how many teams play. They play a lot in Canada, and he couldn't go to Canada and shit no more. So it kind of fucked it up. No, he
yeah.
played with Iserman and Federer. So that was the '90s.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So he played. They played the Legion of Doom. They would smoke us and shit when they would play. Like I think he froze up.
All right, I'm back.
They
Did my shit fuck up?
yeah, it froze for 2 seconds and he popped right in. That wasn't bad.
I'm back by the projects. They probably got some kind of scanners out to fuck up the police shit.
No, I'm saying so that guy definitely played against like Eric Lindros and like I liked all those Flyers. You heard of Lindros, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. No, I was younger when I was up on a lot of teams was because I collected cards, you know, even the hockey cards, football cards, basketball cards, baseball
Okay.
cards. That put me up on a lot of players and shit, whether I knew who they was or not and shit. Was because of that. When I was a
Yeah,
kid. I don't even think
yeah. I don't.
they even do that shit anymore, collect cards and shit. Like they used
They
to tell
do,
you,
but
yeah,
not. It's
save
not
these
like
and
how
they'll
it
be
used to be.
yeah, like
They
they're
do.
like, save these cars, they'll be worth all this money in the future, but that was a lie. They ain't worth
That shit
hardly.
crashed though. No, they were. Like I remember when I was a kid, I would trade cards at lunch, like
Yeah.
in middle school and shit. I would trade like I remember I trade like a Dennis Rodman on the Pistons for like uh like a '96 Scottie Pippen card, and so everyone's like, "Oh, that's stupid. You should have kept that Rodman card," and like shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think like the Pippen
Shit,
card
I
was like
remember.
a reflective card, so it looked cooler. You know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
put
I
Rodman
remember
on the
when
Pistons.
David Robinson from the Spurs, when his rookie card came out, it was him holding his jersey. That bitch was like $55 new when he was a rookie. So I'm like, yeah, this card's gonna be worth some money and shit. Now it's like hardly, it's worth less than it was worth
The Admiral.
then. Yeah,
That's what they used to call him, the Admiral.
yeah. Because he was out the military. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, San Antonio was out cold back then. And shit. David Robinson. Who else did they have back then? They had a dope ass squad back then. I used to fuck with basketball a lot.
Then they had Rodman on the team for a minute. Remember,
Oh,
when
dude,
he
I know
caused a lot of problems. He went
he
to
left
after he left and went to San
Chicago.
Antonio.
He
No,
went to
but before
Chicago after
Chicago,
Detroit.
no. He went to San Antonio after Detroit. Then he went to Chicago. He played with
Oh,
him for
did
like
he?
a year. You don't remember that?
No, I thought he went straight to Chicago.
No, that's when he went crazy in San Antonio. He started painting his hair and
He
then
was already
he
crazy,
kicked
bro.
he kicked like a cameraman and shit.
You know why he had to leave the Pistons, right? You know what happened with him, right? What he did? They
No.
found him in the parking lot. It was right after they built the palace
Yeah,
and shit.
I heard about that. Yeah.
He was drunk as fuck and he had a pistol in his lap and he was suicidal. That's when they was like, you gotta go and shit. You can't play here no more, whatever. I thought he went to Chicago, but I get you say San Antonio. I don't
He
remember him
went to
playing
San
in Florida.
Antonio. Yeah,
You
he
sure it
played
wasn't
there. That
Houston
no,
with
San
Akeem
he played with.
Olajuwon?
I'll bet you $100 right now. Played with David Robinson. I remember he had the blonde hair, and it came out right when that movie Demolition Man came out. So he had like
That's
the blonde
it.
hair, like
Wesley
call it?
Snipes.
Yeah, he looked just like Wesley when he dyed his hair blonde, and I remember him that San Antonio jersey. You
Hold
know.
on, I'm about to get us somebody up in here real quick. They just met.
All right. I don't know. You froze. You probably messaging somebody. It's always funny, like the position, like your face freezes, like when you do it. You're like, yeah, you know what I
All right.
mean? There
Yeah.
you go. Your face froze funny. You're like,
I know I
that's
hate
so
when it
funny.
does that shit. I try to make a dope face before I go answer a call or share it around or check a notification because I know it's gonna freeze up. But no, I shot the link to shout out for Jordan. He just commented under one of my YouTube videos, so I know he's on here. I just got the notification, so
I never
I
did
did.
3-person live or multiples, and I don't know. Can we do that or?
Can you do it? I don't think you can. I don't know if you can do it with just YouTube on your phone. That's what we were trying to figure out too, because like how Instagram is like that, where you put 4 people on there. That's why we were telling the trolls to find us on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? We can go at it and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. The Instagram, I'm shadow banned and shit on there. Like I can't say like I
You
can't
hit it
say
up, dog,
coward.
because Money Crystal was for the longest, and now I can start tagging them and shit, and like add them as a collaborator. I couldn't do that with you. I still can't do it with yours. It shows your name, but it's like gray and shit. You can't click on
Yeah,
it.
I'm always in trouble, man.
Yeah.
I had a picture like when like they had when Iran shot the rockets at Israel. I put a picture of the Ayatollah on the rocket, and they got all fucking mad at me. I'm like, it's the same shit. What they doing?
Hell
What I
no.
put? I know I put the song. He dropped a bomb on me. Da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na.
Yeah.
And
No, that's just a touchy subject, dog. I mean, I see a lot of the Palestine side because of the Dearborn and shit and the big
yeah,
community here and shit. So I see a lot of it, and I seen Israel like the Jewish community here in Detroit. They were standing up with Palestine here, dog, calling for
some of
peace. You
them,
know.
yeah, it's called that's called Jewish guilt. It's like white guilt. It's the same thing. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It's like
What
when
up, though? Christopher Jordan, Grand Rising, homie.
yeah, I call that shit like Jewish guilt or white guilt. Like I said, the same people doing that, just release the hostages. You want to end the war? Let the people go. Why do
Yeah,
you
but
gotta
that's,
hold
that's
babies
what
and
I mean.
women,
That's
yo?
Hamas, though. Like
Huh?
the president of Palestine can't tell the leader of Hamas to release him. He ain't gonna
No,
listen.
that's who is the president of Palestine. It's the leader of Hamas. He runs Gaza, yo, and they hide out in fucking Qatar. Like they don't live in Gaza. They're in like the country Qatar. Like they have
Yeah,
offices in there, so they're not there. But the guy who's in charge, look it up, man. I'm not. I'll bet you $100 on that. He's the president of Gaza is the leader of Hamas, and he lives in Qatar and shit. I think they just like killed his son or something in like one of the hits and shit. They was like trying to get that motherfucker. I hope they do get that motherfucker.
that's
You know what I
crazy.
mean? That's
Like
what
they
I
say,
say. Nobody's
nobody wins in war, dog. We all lose and shit. People gonna lose. Everybody, there's gonna be losses.
so. I'm
Everybody
just saying though,
loses.
but it's quick. If I come up to you right, and I punch you in the face, right, and then you
Mhm.
start beating the shit out of me, and there's like people behind me, and then I start crying, "Oh my god, look what he's doing to me!" Ah. You know what I mean? And then the people behind me start going, "Hey, yo, look at you doing that guy." I'm the instigator. I'm the one that started. That's Palestine. That's what's
Okay.
happening right now.
All
They
right. So
started
who would
war,
this
and then they
be? I gotta here goes a scenario. This happened at the Cinco de Mayo parade. This dude got in a fight with another dude. It was the council and the Serranos. They got in a fight and shit. And this Serrano got the count got the better of the Serrano, so the Serrano went down, and the count put his foot on the Serrano's neck. You know what I'm saying? And the Serrano ended up pulling out a strap and blasting the count, killed him. The cops came. They arrested the Serrano after he ran, like about 3 blocks away. They caught him.
yeah,
They
cause
let him go
yeah,
the next day, dog. They let him go on self defense. But he
yeah.
started the shit. He started it though, and he got his ass beat.
Uh,
He started it
yeah.
though, and he got
See,
his ass beaten, and he shot dude because he was getting stomped out afterwards. After he started the shit though.
yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Then that dude would be Palestine.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Look, that's the thing with me, man. Like everybody else, they don't want to say shit because they got friends. I don't look. I live in America. We got freedom of religion here. If you can't criticize any religion, there's a reason for that. You criticize, make fun. You ever see them make fun of Buddy Christ? You make fun of Jews on
Yeah.
South Park and shit. Nobody cares when
But
we
they
make
made
fun
fun
of
of
certain other
Arabs too,
religions.
though.
I'm
South Park.
saying,
Don't
man.
bring up South Park. They make fun of every religion on there
No,
and shit.
you don't remember what happened? So they
Well,
did this thing called like the Super Friends. This one episode, and they had like Muhammad. They drew pictures of him, and they had like Buddha. They had Jesus. They had like all the religious leaders, and they got away with it. Then they did another episode about like you couldn't make fun of Muhammad and shit, and it was like such a touchy episode. They aired it once, and they can never be aired again because everybody cried about it and shit. Look it up, yo. It's crazy, yo. Look that
I
shit
mean,
up.
Morgan Freeman's God. You know what I'm saying? So he played
He's the
God.
voice of God.
Yeah, he played him
They
too.
used
He
to.
wasn't just the voice in that movie with Jim Carrey,
Yeah, yeah.
Bruce Almighty. Uh,
But that's all it is. Everybody just trying to sell you a ticket to the afterlife. I told you one time I smoked DMT, and this is crazy. I seen a guy in a white robe, and he had like this bag, like you see in those pictures, like on those paintings, on the carvings, like a little bag,
yeah,
and he had all these religious symbols. And mind you, I'm tripping, and he's like
right.
shaking. He's like, pick one, any one, and I just seen that, and that's how I
You was
feel
on
like religion
DMT?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to make it
Oh shit.
allegedly.
I ain't never fucked with that shit. What about the toad? You up on the toad that Mike Tyson be talking about all the time?
You can order them. They call it bufo toad. You can order that shit
Real.
as a
I'm
pet.
scared to
Yeah,
take that
you
shit,
can get
dog.
it as a pet.
He said you see what you see when you die, dog, and it humbles you and shit. Listen.
Yes and no. I seen all kind. I seen heaven and hell. Hell was terrifying. I seen hell on DMT. That shit's crazy, bro. Like I said, I used to make, when I was on probation, listen to this shit. So I couldn't smoke weed. So I learned how to make this shit. You get mimosa hostilis root bark for clothing dye. So you get that shit. I would make it. I'm not telling you how, but I did. And I don't do it no more. I don't do it no more. I did it. So on probation, I smoked that shit every day like weed, and I seen all kinds of shit. It was crazy, dude.
Yeah, I ain't took no DMT. I heard about that shit. I was thinking of that shit, like the frog and shit like that, because Mike Tyson got me wanting to try it and shit. Like,
So
but then he got
DMT's in everything though. Like they say, like it's in your like when you eat salad, like it's in fruits and vegetables. But for whatever reason, there's like something in your brain that like prevents it from you seeing all that shit. But when you smoke it, like when you make it like a crystal, it goes right past that shit and all that shit you see, and they say that's what you see when you die, all those colors and shit. I think is everybody should do it once. I think I seen like pyramids and temples. I seen like Buddha shit before. I seen aliens, yo. I seen all kinds of
Yeah,
shit on that stuff.
you be all fucked up. This crackhead on the street looks like Jesus. Like, look, are you Jesus? Are you God? And some
It only
crackhead gets
lasts
on.
10 minutes. Yo, it's weird. It only lasts 10 minutes. It only lasts 10 minutes.
Yeah,
That
that's what
shit
I
though.
heard. It's short and shit. Yeah, but it feels way longer, right?
Powerful, power.
Yeah,
Yo, you like live another life. Like
yeah,
I lived another life and I came back.
that's
I had
crazy.
like a whole other family and shit in there. I
That's
had
why I
like
believe in
kids.
like other dimensions and shit, dog. We're only in like one dimension. There's other shit going on around us, dog, like that we don't know about, like other dimensions, because we can only think and see so much. We were talking about
Lick the
that shit with
frog.
Crackers Capone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, lick the frog. Is that how? That ain't how you got. That you can get that shit without
So
licking
you
the
could do it.
frog, bro.
Yeah, you can't. So like with that shit, it's called the bufo frog, and you could. They live actually where
Can't you stick a
Blantonio lives. They
needle up in
Christopher
that
Jordan.
bitch?
They live where Christopher
Yeah,
Jordan lives. Christopher Jordan. They probably live
in
around here. Called Bufu frog
Arizona,
or
in
Bufu
the
toad.
desert.
Bufo toad. It's like a big toad, and it got these things on, it, and you squeeze that, and white pus comes out, and you put it on glass, and you
Hey,
could either
Christopher
smoke it.
Jordan, when you come up here to Detroit with Blantonio this summer, dog, bring me a, what is it called?
Bufo toad.
Bufo toad, dog. Find me a bufo toad.
They live where he does. I'm telling you, they in the desert.
Yeah, I need one of those. We can make some money off them bufo toads.
Yeah,
We got
every
everybody
day.
in Detroit off the toad and shit. This everybody around this bitch will be tripping out and shit.
Yeah,
Outside
shit,
town.
wild.
Yeah. We need to use 100%. Yeah, that's what I mean. That we don't use 100% of our brains. That's why I think we lit. There's
No,
other dimensions and other things going on around us that we can't see and can't do. Just like there's certain animals that supposedly can see shit that we can't see and shit and sense shit that we can't sense type shit. Hair
they say the
shit we
same thing
can.
with babies and shit. Like babies, they say they can see
Because you're
like
the
spirits.
closest. Well, yeah, because you're the closest to the undead. You know what I'm saying? Or to the dead, the unalive. You're the closest to not being. When you're born, you're the closest to whatever there is out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they say he's gonna be on the hunt for one. Yeah, look at it. I'll send you the information.
Yeah.
They live
Send him a
in the
picture. Send
desert.
Christopher Jordan a picture of one so he can get us a Bufu toad.
It's just a fat fucking toad with like big things on its back.
Don't
That's what you
bring no
squeeze in
bullshit
white
ass
shit.
toad. I don't want to just be fucking like taking some regular ass toad shit. Like what the fuck? We over here squeezing toads and shit. It ain't even the right toad and shit.
You gotta, yeah. I don't know. You ever see like toads there, like Christopher Jordan? Like I don't know, like during the rainy season. If you get that, I don't, you in the desert. I don't know where you at in Arizona, but
Tucson,
they
yeah,
there
they
like on
got
the
down
forest
desert.
part. I heard on the edge. It's like a forest section.
I don't think there's too many trees where Christopher Jordan's at, dog. At all, because he likes when I go live and he say he be talking about the trees and shit, and I be thinking we don't even got that many trees. But fuck it. Yeah,
We
look
got a
at the
lot of trees
trees.
here.
Yeah, look at the trees. Yeah, Philly does look a lot like Detroit and shit, though. I like that area. It does look a lot similar.
Yeah,
No, I
we got.
drove
I
through
told you
it.
down the street. It's all like we had the biggest park system out of any city in the world. I think. I think Singapore might have the biggest one. Like Fairmount Park, it connects to Cobbs Creek Park, which is right there. It's the biggest. Like people think it's Central Park. That's small compared to
Yeah,
Fairmount Park. It goes all the way to the art museum and shit. You know what I
I've been
mean?
to Central Park and shit. Central Park was straight. I mean, it was tight. I went down there when I was in New York. I had to see all that shit when I was in New York. I went to all the boroughs, checked them all out. I don't know. New York
Yeah,
was
I would
straight. I
take you
liked
to
it.
the art museum. I'd take you to the Rocky Steps and all that shit if you come out here.
Yeah, yeah. I got to get a picture with Rocky and shit. You know, when I used to be doing that MMA training back in the days when I was doing that shit, I used to fucking they used to play in my head that Rocky theme music and shit. Even in prison when I used to be running, I used to run 7 miles a day, and that shit would be I'd be thinking it in my head like that music and shit, the Eye of the Tiger and shit. Like,
Yeah. I play that shit like when the Eagles are on, you know that? When they're like in the tough game, I play that shit loud. Like, come on. They get all excited and shit.
hell no. Yeah,
He
Christopher
used to come
Jordan.
out like he came out a couple times, like in the beginning of the season, like he was out with a Eagles uniform on and shit.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, I'm about to run in here, dog. I gotta bring my wife this coffee and shit, dog. But we chopped it up for a while. I don't know why it started over the
Yeah,
timeline. You see that?
I walked away from the crib.
Oh, all right.
That's why I walked away
Oh,
from
you
the
lost
crib.
Wi-Fi and shit or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, I had to go throw out a bag real quick.
Yeah, it does that shit every time I be pulling out the driveway and shit. I get down the street and it'll be like spinning and shit. Starting.
Yeah,
But you say, shout out Christopher Jordan. Everybody else that tapped in. Shout out Chestermcfly. I'm gonna jump out
oh
of here,
yeah,
dog. But
yeah. We
we'll
did
go
an hour and a
live.
half, man. Good shit, yo.
Hell, hell yeah. Shit, go live with Christopher. You need to interview Christopher Jordan.
Hell yeah.
He's a rapper too. That song he got that track. I don't know if you heard it. If he sent it to you and shit. Boomity back. What's it called? Christopher Jordan. You got to tell me it's the perfect titty bar song too and shit. But send it to Chester McFly. He got a
Yeah,
video of
hell
that.
yeah. I definitely interviewed Christopher Jordan.
Yeah, you need to get on there and interview Christopher Jordan, though. He got a lot of stories to tell. You know, a lot of dope rap. Like Fez Taylor, he was around the corner when he got shot and shit in Staten Island and shit. They was talking about
Oh
it on
shit,
live on the show and shit.
that's
Got some
crazy.
stories to tell. But yeah, I got to take care of some business. I'll
I
holler at
got
y'all,
you.
man.
Yeah, I gotta charge my phone for a little bit, and then I don't know. I'll hit Christopher Jordan up on Facebook. I'll
Yeah.
message him. Is he on? He's on Facebook, right?
Yep, yep. Bobbity
Yeah, I'll
bop. That's
message
it.
him.
Bobbity bop bop. Yeah, that shit's hard. Send it to you. All right, much love, y'all. I got to catch this call too. Peace.
All right, peace, guys. And I'll hit you up, Christopher Jordan, and we can go live. I want to charge my phone for a little bit. I'm at like 20%. But good live. All right, peace, y'all. Thanks for remember like and subscribe and follow all that ish. Peace out, y'all.